Well, greetings, Business 20 students. This is again Mr.D set, and this is week number 6 in our 8-week course in business mathematics here at Norco College. And this week we're going to be looking at the next 2 chapters that relate to or that involve inventory and depreciation. And so these are completely different than what we've been working on with tables and charts and all that kind of stuff. You're going to just be focused on really common sense in these questions, but how to figure out inventory, and then how to figure out depreciation. And of course, inventory, the reason it's important is it actually can show you having more costs or more profit depending on what kind of inventory you or how you evaluate your inventory. And there's basically a couple of different ways to evaluate inventory, and it all depends on what you're hoping to accomplish, but it'll be reflected on your income statement. And so if you want to show a lot of profit because you're trying to sell your business, then you might want your inventory costs to be low. Or if you want to show a little bit of profit because you're trying to pay less taxes, say you want to have less so that you want to show a higher inventory cost, which would then make your taxes lower. So these are all tactics that businesses use to save money one way or the other, whether that be trying to get a lot of money from selling the business or trying to pay less taxes. So those are why you would do your inventory different ways. Same thing with depreciation. When it comes to like your taxes and stuff like that. So here we are on our homepage in Canvas, and I'm going to scroll down. We're actually finishing module number 3 this week. So we have the second half of module 3. And last week you looked at annuities and mortgages, and you did a check-in assignment, a quiz, and then you started your case study number 3. So now you're going to be finishing it, and don't overthink this one. I know it might seem a little difficult when you go to do this case study because you have to figure out 2 things. You have to figure out the inflation, and then you have to use your charts to figure out how much the sinking fund needs to have in it in order to have the desired amount of money in the future. So you need to first figure out how much am I going to need in the future based on inflation, and then you're going to need to figure out what does the sinking fund need to be in order to have the money in there when I need it. So that's really what you'll be figuring out in that case study, but I'm going to scroll to the bottom here. I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to go ahead and change the date to the end of this week, so that way you know you have 1 more week to complete that. And I'm also going to change it to say, rather than start discuss case study, I'm going to say complete case study. All right, so that takes care of that assignment. And like I said, I moved it down. So I'm going to come back to our homepage, and I'm going to go ahead and select module number 3. And then that's going to bring us to then week number 6. So that's where we're at now. So this week, again, we're going to be looking at chapter 16 on inventory, chapter 17 on depreciation. Once again, you have the video of this week's announcement. You have your Read Me First for week 6 and your Help Sienna. So this kind of puts everything in the context of her health and fitness business. Then I have a study page for each of the chapters. In each of the study pages, there is a video of me working out the problems. And then, of course, you have tips on solving word problems, which is the same one for every week. But you do have a special formula sheet for these 2 chapters, and you'll want to look at that or reference that or print that out before you start working on the problems. Then I am going to have a Zoom session on Thursday at 10 a.m., and I'll be going over inventory problems, and I'll be going over depreciation problems. We haven't had a lot of interest in the Zoom sessions. I've been getting maybe 1 or 2 students that are joining me, but they get kind of special treatment because we're looking at these problems together. So I'm getting a little better at using new technology on my desktop computer at the office. So each week, hopefully I'm getting a little better and it's making a little more sense as far as the technology goes. But these are 2 very exciting and unique chapters, and I'll be going over problems from each on Thursday from 10 to 11. So you're welcome to join me in Zoom. You can just click the link here and that'll take you there. Of course, you have a check-in assignment for this week. So this is due by the 21st, which is Thursday night, if you want my feedback. If you don't want my feedback and you're going to just go for it, then you don't have to turn it in until Sunday, and then I'll grade it the next week. You do have a quiz on chapter 16 and 17 that help you kind of see how much you're learning and where you need to improve, and you can take it 3 times. And then you're going to be completing your case study. So don't forget inflation. That's the case study. There is no in-class for this class. So I'm going to get rid of that. And that's it. So that's it for week number 6. We have 2 weeks after this week left in the class. So keep that in mind. And you'll have your final exam, which will be everything that from chapter 12, chapter 14, chapter 16, chapter 17, chapter 15, chapter 21, and then chapter 20. Those are all the chapters that will be in the final exam. And you're not going to have to cover any of the prior chapters before the midterm. The midterm covered those, so we'll be doing one more exam at the end. But let me know if you have any issues or questions. You're certainly welcome to join me during the Zoom session. We can even talk about different kinds of problems if it's only a few of us rather than this week's problems. Or if you just want to meet me during my office hours, you're welcome to do that as well on campus. So anyway, have a great week. You'll be hearing